Welcome to AI Marketing, a podcast for sales and marketing professionals that want to increase their sales, leads, and conversions through the use of artificial intelligence solutions. And now, here's your host, Mark Fidelman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AI Marketing. But today, we're going to have a little bit of sales because I know marketers love to produce sales. So I'd like to introduce you guys to the other side of the fence. Hopefully, you're more integrated in that. But, sometimes you are on the other side of the fence. And with AI, you can work hand in hand with them even more closely. So today, I'm going to introduce you to Gaurav Bhattacharya. And if I mispronounce that, he'll help me out with that. And he's the CEO of Jeeva.ai. So with that, let me hand it over to him for a brief introduction, and then we'll kick things off.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here, Mark. I mean, you said it perfectly. My name is Gaurav, and Jeeva AI is an agentic AI platform for sales reps. But we do work with a lot of marketing teams because a lot of business development, sales development, and pipeline generation now lives with marketing. So we work with tons of SDRs, BDRs, marketing ops folks to set up pipeline generation activities for, especially for B2B companies. A little bit about the company. We are under a year old, already work with 10,000 plus sales reps on the system. 300 enterprise customers use us. We are backed by Alt Capital, which is a fund started by Jack Altman. His brother is Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. We also work with Sapphire Ventures, which is a $10 billion fund that invested in us. And Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, is also an investor in us. So that's a little bit about us and a little bit about me. I'm a multi-time AI founder. I used to work on AI before ChatGPT made it super cool. I've also worked on the old school AI of prediction models and very excited to work with the new gen models now.
Okay. So, the obvious question for me that a lot of people are outside the AI industry, mainly in just traditional marketing, they're trying to make the transition is who cares about AI for sales? What's it doing for them?
Yeah, great question, Mark. And very similar to the AI for marketers, what I believe in or what we believe in, our hypothesis, Mark, is anything that doesn't require deep human connection, like us connecting right now, strategic thinking, brainstorming, creativity. We don't think AI is ever going to replace that, or at least not for the next few decades. That's what I believe in. But manual, repetitive, labor-intensive tasks can be done better, faster, cheaper with AI. So as I'm sure you've seen tons of, and in your podcast also, we've seen a lot of coverage on AI for marketers. For AI for sellers basically mean anything that's not doing a discovery call, demo, or carrying the sales cycle, building the relationship or negotiating. Anything that's not in those realms, which basically includes finding the right leads, enriching data, finding right emails, doing research on prospects, following up on your opportunities in your pipeline, recording meeting notes, then converting into summaries, putting into the CRM system, drafting personalized emails, personalized LinkedIn messages, following up with inbound leads, all of that and more we believe Jeeva AI can do for sellers so that they're focused on just showing up to great discovery calls, running a great sales cycle, and closing as many deals as possible.
Right. But as a marketer, I've seen a lot of companies start to advertise that AI can replace actual sales calls. And because the sales call is an AI agent, it's obviously recording itself and the
Yeah.
responses and it updates the CRM system automatically. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that future?
Mark, I hate it. I don't like it. I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's ever gonna get there. I don't know if I'll be right, right? Who knows? But
Right.
Mark, what I believe in is that people buy from people they trust. And that has been so true of sales and marketing since the start of time. I don't think AI can replace that. What I prefer is can we make sellers and marketers 10x better and maybe have smaller, leaner teams that are doing more, that are performing different, more creative, and have better outputs than trying to replace salespeople. I don't think that's happening. Mark, maybe for a $9 subscription, but I don't want to pay $900, $9,000, $90,000, $900,000 to someone just by talking to an agent.
Mhm.
How about you?
Yeah, I definitely know it doesn't work that well right now. This is something simple. I've talked with these chatbots, and a lot of times there's a delay that's noticeable, and then people's red flags go up.
Yeah,
But sometimes they work for effective things like updating a customer or
yeah,
sending them information, and a phone call or text is all you really need. But I can't help but think once we hit AGI or ASI that either the customer will act as have its own AI agent salesperson that's
yeah,
going out and asking the questions, or it'll be reversed where the salesperson is reaching out to them with an AI agent, and then if maybe it gets really warmed up, then the salesperson comes in. Will it ever eliminate salespeople? I think eventually it might, but it's hard to predict these things.
it's really
Uh,
hard. It's really hard, Mark. That is so true. I think what you said hit the nail on the head is for certain parts of the workflow, let's say if I order with FedEx and I need to find my tracking number and tracking number is not working, or if I need to know where my order is at, yeah, it would definitely help to have a little bit more intelligent system than something to say your package is on the way or your package is not on the way. But you necessarily don't need a human in the loop, right? You don't need a actual human being to look at a $3 thing that I ordered of FedEx or $20. Maybe not worth it. So maybe an agent can answer my questions and get the right things for me. So totally agree with some repetitive tasks. It can do a good job. It can be replaced. But I don't think for high value deals and for actually running the end-to-end sales cycle, I think that is hard. That it's not there yet, but I also feel it's taking the fun out of the game then, right? Like what will people do, Mark, if AI does all our jobs? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that think that once AI does all of our jobs, that we'll just have better jobs. There's that camp. There's
Yeah,
another camp that thinks, oh, we'll all be on some basic universal income, and then the 20% of the people that aren't satisfied with that, or maybe it's higher, have
yeah,
the opportunity to control their own
yeah,
AI farm. I could see.
yeah,
I mean, for sure, drivers, any kind of driver is going to be replaced. Tesla is going to do it by the end of the year, where I'll be able to have my Tesla drive itself to come pick me up, or I could send it up to my son who's in college, pick
yeah,
him up and bring him back. That's going to happen this year. So why couldn't somebody have a fleet of those and rent them out as Uber
yeah,
uh, type of situation? You make a mint if you start buying those and renting them out if you're a first mover on that.
yeah.
So stuff like that, I think will happen. But I think there'll always be an opportunity to make money even if AI takes our jobs. But worst case, it's going to make it, which is already is, it's going to make us all better. And so you should be heavily involved in AI if you're not already, because you're going
Yeah.
to be a better salesperson, better marketer with it.
I totally agree, Mark. And I talked about Jack Altman as one of our investors. He has this nice saying that I love, and I tell everyone that I meet, especially younger people who are asking me like, what should they be doing or studying now that coding may not be needed anymore, skills may not be as applicable. And what I tell them is what he says is that in order to be massively successful in this next 10 years, in this next AI decade, you either have to be very close to AI, Mark, like as close to it as possible, like you're using AI every day, you're in AI, you're just using it for everything and you're not reluctant to use it, or you are as far removed from AI as possible, like either you're a farmer or you're a painter, you're doing something that is okay, it doesn't matter if AI is there or not. So that I feel is so interesting. And you sounds like you're saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think even painting is going to be taken over. I mean,
Yeah, true.
the speed that they'll be able, because you got to remember AI is going to be put into robots eventually, and God help us all when that happens. But the amount of they're going to work 24/7. They're not going to need breaks. They're going to be way smarter than us and act as our personal assistants. So maybe, who knows? It's very hard to predict these things. Do we ever get to AGI? A lot of people are saying 5 years. Some people are saying never. We really don't know. Sentient beings like robots, they're saying 5 to 10 years. It's going to be really interesting. And if they are, then there's no reason why they can't do what we do. They're smarter, they're
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. I mean, can you really make them human? Or are we going to adapt to their world? Do we need to be more robotic? I don't know. It'll be funny.
That
Really
would be
interesting.
super interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, back to sales. So, um, let's take the typical scenario. You're a salesperson, you haven't been exposed to AI yet. What do you recommend they do first?
Yeah. So th this is like a bad, I don't know if it's a bad answer. Mark, like I'm always on interviews and I'm talking to salespeople and marketers and other people when I'm interviewing for Jiva or for anyone else. I always ask them what are they using. And as soon as they say Chat GPT, right, or Perplexity or Cohere, like something that, right, or Claude, I'm like,
Hmm.
but what else are you using, right? But having said that, I feel the easiest place to start is one of these chat solutions, right? Like Chat GPT or Perplexity. My favorite one is Perplexity, for a couple of things, because for salespeople, it does really good deep research on people. And we use it inside Jeeva.ai, but I feel sellers can just use it right away, Mark. They can go in, they can search for like, hey, I'm talking to Mark Fieldman today. Go do research on him and find everything you can about him. Go listen to his last three podcasts. Who were they with? What was the topic of discussion? Was find something interesting within it. Go do research on the previous three companies Mark worked for. What businesses did he run? What does he do now? What's next? What does he talk about? What is his style of communication? What kind of copy can I write? What kind of angles can I pitch him with? Perplexity does a really good job at that because it's updating itself in real time. It's able to go in and look at podcasts and webinars and actually go find real information within them. So if you just get really good at prompting one of these systems to do research on prospects, I think that's a number one place that instantly builds trust. Mark, I'm an engineer by trade. I never learned sales the right way. I just started reading a bunch of books on sales because I was not a good salesperson. And as a founder, I'm a third time founder now. As a founder, you have to be the first SDR, the first BDR, you're the first seller, you're closing the first 10 deals, maybe the first 20 deals. So I had to learn sales the hard way. What I learned was in sales, trust is everything. If you build trust quickly, and the way you build trust is, and what does trustworthiness mean? One of the things is credibility, is how well do I understand you? How well do I understand your industry, your geography, your environment, what pain points you have? Do I work with similar people like you? What can I know about you that almost makes you want to trust me more? Is the number one thing I can teach salespeople, and that's one of the biggest uses of AI. Is instead of trying to write automated email drafts and right trying to blast the internet with LinkedIn spam messages that AI creates, I always say just before going on calls, do deep research on Perplexity or any of these AI chat solutions. Try to find more about Mark when you're talking to him and bring that up in your first conversation. You instantly build trust. I think that is the number one place a salesperson can start. Free to use tools and probably double their quota instantly within this quarter.
Yeah, anytime you know your customer better than your competitor does, you have a better chance of connecting with them. And as we all know, I'm a former salesperson.
Yeah,
As we all know, it's usually the person that's got the strongest relationship that wins the account. So,
100%.
especially in B2B. So that's great advice. What are you seeing the best salespeople that are using AI doing today? I mean, um, are they super salesperson people at this point? What are they doing differently than the rest of them?
100%. 100%, Mark. So the best salespeople are prospecting and hunting. So what I'm seeing, Mark, is at least I come from the SaaS world, and with software as a service, we kind of got spoiled. So what ended up happening, Mark, is in SaaS companies, we almost have this notion of let's try to bifurcate roles and specialize roles. So right, and you've been a former salesperson, you understand this. In the early days, we were hunting, we were prospecting, we were running the sales cycle, closing, maybe even doing some of the implementation, onboarding. A lot of times, salespeople would also be farmers. And then this era of Salesforce came where it was hyper specialization. We have the SDR, BDR, the MDR, the market development rep. Then you have ops for every function. Then you have a junior AE, mid-level AE, senior AE, solutions engineer. You have a sales engineer, implementation manager, CSM, account manager. One of the things that we're seeing is salespeople have forgotten how to hunt and do their own prospecting. And they are either blaming marketing for not having enough leads or blaming their SDR, sales development reps or BDRs. What I'm seeing now is reps are becoming good at prospecting again and are able to hunt for good opportunities on their own and fill their pipeline without the need of having other people. And imagine if you're in a company and you're a salesperson and you can build your own pipeline and you get fed through marketing or through BDRs, you're instantly doubling your quota. So good reps are using tools like Jeeva.ai, ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude. And what they're doing is they're hunting every day. They're able to reach out to 50, 100 prospects in their target market every day, 5 days a week, even 7 days a week, right? Sunday is a great day for prospecting. Sunday evening, especially for me, I get almost all my pipeline for the week prospecting just a couple of hours Sunday evening. I know it's not for everyone, but it works because a lot of the execs or the market that I'm chasing, they're usually online Sunday evening answering their emails. So that's something that I'm seeing people do, and they're getting like they're instantly doubling their commissions by just prospecting a little bit more instead of just waiting for pipeline to be fed to them.
Okay, wonderful. I mean, it sounds like there's some very innovative people that are leveraging the technology, and they'll be the first to try the new things, and they're just going to get more and more powerful as they understand these new technologies and what it's capable of.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap things up, but first we're going to talk about Jeeva.ai. So what is that doing? What is your solution doing to help salespeople be better salespeople?
Yeah. So Mark, we've built this like really cool solution and it's all in natural language. So what it does is it's like ChatGPT, but imagine it having access to your email. It also has access to your LinkedIn. It has access to your Salesforce or HubSpot, wherever you have your leads. Now you can go chat with it and you can say stuff like, hey, like based on my ideal customer profile, I want to find 500 top ideal decision makers at financial services companies who are more than 5,000 employees and use Microsoft systems in their environment. So what the agent's going to do is it's going to go to work. It knows your ICP. It's going to find the right decision makers, the right emails, the right cell phone numbers. It's going to take and work for an hour, 2 hours, and build a really clean, concise list for you. The next thing you can say is, okay, now what I want you to do is do a multi-step campaign on my behalf, speak in my language and tonality, do research on all of these folks that you found, the 500 people you found. Now write like 6 email campaign messages for me and and LinkedIn messages for me. And every morning you wake up, Mark, it's going to basically say, hey, Mark, I found you 50 leads that fit your ICP. Here's all the research on them. Here's the right contact data. All you got to do as a rep is proofread, approve, send, proofread, approve, send. And that's what our solution helps you do. Now, there's 100 other things like we have this really cool chatbot you can add on your website. There's an inbound agent that can track website visitors and reach out to them. There's like tons of tools around note taking all the way to like doing a bunch of your tasks for you. But the essence remains around lead discovery, around enrichment and personalized outreach at scale that the agent can do for you so that reps can focus on just growing their pipeline and closing deals.
Wonderful. Love it. And where do they find you?
Mark, I'm G at Jeeva.ai. So super easy. G at Jeeva.ai. Gaurav Bhattacharya on LinkedIn. I'm actually one of 6 Gaurav Bhattacharyas, even
Come
though
on.
super unique name.
Really?
Oh man, yeah,
All
totally.
spelled the same?
Yeah, all spelled the same. So Mark,
Ugh.
one time I was at an event and I was like, "Here's my badge," and they were like, "I can't find you." I was like, "There's no effing way you can't find me, right?" And then the guy was like, "No, look at this," and there were like 7, and I was like 4th on the list. So Mark, yeah. So please look at my face, try to see if you can match
Mm-hmm.
with Jiva, and I'm super active on LinkedIn, so would love to connect with any of the listeners out here.
All right. All right. With that, Really appreciate the update. Appreciate how straight you were with the conversation. Very easy to follow. So I would encourage you, go check them out, Jeeva.ai. And a lot of this will be in the show notes. And come back in, a few more months when we've got the next major development that's happening. I mean, it seems like every day there's something new. But
Totally.
if you ever get into sales AI agents, and maybe you are already, I would love to hear about some success stories around that.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate it.